Hello and welcome to the Hoof GP. Today we're on our way to see this big bull, who's probably the lamest bull that we've ever had on the channel. I'm quite apprehensive because I know how important he is to the farmer, how important he is to the breeding season ahead. So wish us luck. This is the Hoof GP.
And I won't let it rush when I see you dance, and the moment comes when I fall and time goes slow. I fall into you.
So about 2 months or so we visited Kenny's farm because he had an Aberdeen Angus
bull who was in a lot of pain. As you can see, he'd lost a lot of weight. He was all dirty from lying in a straw hospital bed, and when we looked closer at his feet, we could see they were both cracked right round the outside edge. Once we got him in the crush, we cleaned off his feet so that we could inspect them a little bit more closely, and we soon discovered we were going to need a block. So Craig got busy blocking his foot before I could get back to the real job of trimming away that loose and detached horn. As you can see, there was a lot of it. He had an abscess right up the outer wall. Luckily, Kenny had been treating him with a drug called Loxicom, and that had given him pain relief, but it had also helped to make that abscess disappear. So we were trimming him at exactly the right time. Nonetheless though, it still looked fairly graphic, and this, believe it or not, was his good foot. Once we trimmed away all of the loose and detached horn, we cleaned it off, sprayed it down with some water, then dried it and sprayed it with an antibiotical spray to make sure that abscess didn't re-emerge. As soon as we got his back right foot in the air, it was clear that this was a much worse and more painful foot for this bull. You can see the abscess has burst out the top or the coronet of his foot. So we set about levelling up both of the claws before we could attach a wooden block to that inside claw and therefore take the weight away from the sore and painful one. You can see it's really inflamed. The drugs are working and they are giving him pain relief. But nevertheless, this is still a very painful foot for this bull. And as you're just about to see, the trim only progressed and progressed and progressed until he had very little remaining of his outside wall horn. When we trimmed him, this bull weighed around a tonne, or 2,200 pounds, so any problem he had with his feet at all would cause him a great deal of pain, never mind something as serious as the one that we're trimming away right now. So it was hugely important for the future of this big guy's life that we made sure we did the best job we possibly could. So after trimming away all of the loose detached horn and making sure that we did the best we could to get the weight away from that affected claw, we washed it down, applied Embryonics magical paste and wrapped it up, and hoped for the best. When we let the big guy out of the crush, he was clearly still in pain and hobbled away to his hospital pen, where he was to stay for the next few weeks.
As you can see, they were incredibly painful. We had to take a lot of loose horn off and he had infections in both of them. He was incredibly lame and therefore in a lot of pain. We are just about 2 seconds away from the farm now, and I genuinely am a bit apprehensive. A, because I'm showing you lot how bad he was, and B, because I want Kenny to be happy with how his bull is now, and I'm keen to see the results. So let's get there, get him in the crush and see what the crack is with his feet. Guys.
There are a few bulls to trim today, and this big guy is lucky number one, although he doesn't seem to feel all that lucky. Kenny tries the old food for thought idea. He tries coaxing him in with a cake, and actually, it works. We trimmed this big guy and he had no problems whatsoever, so off he trots. Next up is our guy, and I don't want to jinx it, but he's walking rather well.
Code brown.
Yeah, that's why I get squashed.
Once we get the first of his 2 hind claws in the air, it's important to remember that looks can be deceiving. This foot does look like it's healed. It does look like it's really good and in good shape. But keep your eyes on the left hand side of his outer claw, because looks can be deceiving and cracks can run deep. We balance up his claws and make sure that the hoof angle is correct before whipping out the knife and modelling out that inner claw. Now it's time to get down to business. Let's see what's happening with this foot.
Yellow, that's where the blood's like seeping into the horn as it's growing.
I say that's enough a little bit until it was.
Team effort, Kenny, that is. People think it's just about the trimming, but it's not. You trim anything and then go and put it in an absolute dung hole, it's just going to revert back to what it was, isn't it?
And as you can see, we do have cause for celebration, at least where this foot is concerned. This has completely healed. It'll take time to look perfect once again because we need that wall horn to grow all the way down to the base of the foot. But I am very happy with this result.
No, that's perfect.
Just to make sure that he does make a complete and full recovery back to perfect health, I lower his heel in order to make sure that more of the weight is on his medial claw rather than the one that was affected by that white line defect.
I'll take a bit more height off this like this so that you've still got most pressure on this good foot to allow this still to grow in. Because this only grows about 5 or 6 millimetres a month. It's probably 3 or 4 months maybe, which is, well, there you go. So that is obviously the top of the problem. This is good! Happy days.
Now it's time to get the more serious of his feet in the air and to have a look. And in first inspections, it definitely doesn't look perfect.
This is the Ridge wallet, and you guys who followed the channel for some time know that Ridge have made these videos possible for about a year now. These wallets are absolutely awesome, and I can honestly say I will never ever use a conventional wallet again. This thing is miles better. It's sleek, little, modern design, means you can put it in the front pocket of your jeans or your whatever you've got on, and you'll barely even notice it's there, unlike those bulgy big wallets that everybody used to have. These things can carry 12 cards and there's room for cash in the back, so you'll never be stuck. Plus, if you don't like it, you can send it back within 45 days, so it's a no-brainer. There's a lifetime guarantee, so if you break it, send it back, get a new one. But I've never broken mine, and I am pretty rough with these things. Like I said though, don't trust me, trust the 40,000 people who have given it a 5-star review on Trustpilot, and go and get your own at ridge.com/hoofgp. Remember, use the code HOOF and you'll get 10% off. Obviously don't get the Ridge wallet from me, get it for yourself, and trust me, you'll be glad you did. Cheers guys!
And just like that, we're back to the Angus bull, and we're busy balancing up his claws before getting stuck in and around that place that was blighted by that huge problem last time we trimmed him.
Out in the unknown, story took its toll. Thought I would have grown off the beaten track to become a better man, sinking in the sand. We don't need the past in our lives for tomorrow. Never see the end of the night filled with sorrow. What do we do to love? What do we do to love? What do we do to love? When everything's said and done, what do we do to love?
His feet are balancing up really nicely, but there is a lot of loose, cracked and ragged horn on the outer wall horn, so I am still slightly apprehensive. That apprehension soon starts to slide away. As I get to this point in the trim, I now know that he has almost completely healed. I think this cracking is going to come to a complete end and this will be a very happy ending for this big bull. Although these final cracks are very small, it's still very important to make sure that we get rid of all of them. If we didn't, those cracks can materialise and grow and expand into much bigger, more serious problems for this bull, and Kenny would not be a happy chappy. As it is, I'm over the moon with this result, I really am. This is what makes my job so amazing every single day. Because Kenny is watching so closely, I know he'll be wondering why I'm leaving all of that raggedy horn on the inside claw. Well, the fact is, that is natural horn shedding. Naturally, cows' feet will wear away if they're in the right conditions, and that's what's happening on that inner claw. If we were to remove it, we would be removing valuable height, and we'd be putting too much pressure on that now healed up claw, and it may start to go backwards. Just as I'm talking to Kenny, I notice I've left a high point on his toe, and I'm not scared to just get back in there and take that little bit of extra horn off before dropping his foot down, so that we can see how he's walking now.
Come on, boy.
So as you can see, his feet are looking awesome. I couldn't be happier about it, and I'm pretty sure Kenny is feeling the same way.
And that, folks, is what you call a happy ending. Make sure you're subscribed and catch me on the next video.